what we're all experiencing as consumers and citizens of the global economy is a massive proliferation of interactions that create data. Whether it's your social networks, whether it's your interactions with your service providers, your bank, your telephone company, all of these things now are creating data interactions at a rate that is unprecedented. At the same time, the infrastructure for capturing this data and processing this data has ripened to a point where you can actually have the ambition to do something with that information. The problem is, and this is what was exciting to us about ClickFox, there are very few tools to actually make sense of this huge deluge of data. I think the market, we're at the beginnings, the very beginning phases of an evolution in which we're going to see a huge number of innovative new businesses that have nothing to do other than exploit this trend and making sense of all this disparate information that we're all part of generating now.
What's really changed in the last few years is the fact that consumers have a lot of choices of how they can interact with a company. And companies have to adapt. Consumers really are in control. And understanding those interactions and behaviors from consumers will help drive satisfaction.
We think about the digital brand that all companies represent today and the percentage of our, let me call it, market-facing systems that are outside our firewalls one way or another, where our supply chain and our relationship with our customers increasingly are defined in almost completely digital terms. We're truly living in the information age, but we're drowning in the information that is a byproduct of that success and that digital migration. ClickFox is the first company to come along that's able to capture all of those points of customer contact and put them in a subtext that makes that business intelligence usable to the enterprise. It's great that we've got this explosion in the myriad of computing devices. It's great that we've been able to automate and digitally transform more of those customer experiences, but we're drowning in the very information that provides, and if we can't find ways to mine it intelligently, then we're going to be overwhelmed by it as enterprises.
We're doing something very unique at ClickFox. Typically, what companies have done is analyze transactions. A transaction is a purchase of a phone, opening of an account, a bill pay. Every transaction generates one or more interactions. An interaction would be a visit to a retail store, and a visit to a website, a interaction with a voice response system. So what we do at ClickFox is we take in unstructured interaction data from every touch point a consumer has with an enterprise, and we tie those together to become a single view across multiple interactions as a cross-channel view of the customer's experience. We are processing over 500 million sessions, interactions a month through our product. This is terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of data. The complexity is that an interaction is a very deep data set. It's not only broad, but it's deep. I have to go very deep into what a customer did during that interaction and how that customer is different from another customer doing the same thing. So I'm going broad because I'm going cross-channel, and I'm going deep into the interaction, and I'm tying those interactions to the transaction. So the complexity and the volume and the depth of the data that we process is more than anybody's ever done.
The power of ClickFox's tool set is as old as business. It's know your customer. And it's know your customer in an environment that is increasingly complex and difficult, and where the inputs are more diffuse than they've ever been. Right? So the basic questions that people have been trying to address since they've been trying to optimize businesses, tell me when that started, is who are my customers? What are they buying? What are they not buying? What makes them happy? What makes them unhappy? How do I serve them better, faster, more cost effectively? Those are all questions that in today's environment, with this profusion of interactions and modes of interaction, is very hard to answer with traditional tools.
Well, in earlier iterations, business intelligence was a byproduct of dealing with mixed back office topologies. You know, we've moved from the back office to the front office to the, let's call it the virtual office, or the world sort of outside our enterprises. And, you know, business intelligence as it was defined earlier in the decade was basically about providing a synthesis point for all of that back office intelligence, all of the transaction processing and all of those operational systems. ClickFox is different in that it takes you beyond the back office and the front office, again to the market-facing side of the equation that's ultimately represented by the point of customer contact, whether that's a portal, whether that's a smartphone or a tablet or any other number of devices. And for the first time, we have a provider that's able to transcend those three topologies. And that's what's so powerful about ClickFox.
The reality of a lot of companies today is they have many BI tools, but typically they're very channel focused, meaning they're either looking directly at the web or they might be looking at the IVR. There's a lot of call center analytic tools, and there's even handset analytic tools. But ClickFox is the only tool that can string those all together and show you the behavior across all of those channels and interactions to give you a holistic view of the customer behavior.
ClickFox can link all of those experiences together and create that customer journey across all of those touch points, and we do that in aggregate. We don't sample, we look at all of the customer experiences and all of those interactive touch points, and that journey is identified across all of those touch points, and the most dominant experiences rise to the top. So we can see what are the most popular experiences in past that customers are taking in the context of whatever situation that you're trying to address. Maybe it's new customers' onboarding experience. Well, we can look at that journey across the touch points and what do the first 90 days look like for a customer? Or conversely, at the end of life, what are the experiences, again, across all of those touch points that leads to something like attrition or a churn or, you know, a customer, you know, not spending as much money on a credit card as maybe they were last month.
So we have a customer in the wireless space that releases new products on a monthly basis in order to gain more and more market share and more acceptance of their product. They went from first place to last before they started implementing analytics of this type. And now they've gone from last to first in their customer care and serviceability. The reasons why is they were not able to see the impact of a product and the serviceability of that product until 6 months after the product was released. By that time, they had lost customer after customer after customer. With this kind of analytics, whereby we're looking at from the moment a customer walks into a store to their first 30, 60, 90 days, how they are treated, how many times they have to repeat certain things, and the way that they get answers to their questions in a real-time fashion. This company, this wireless company, was able to cut the churn by half, increase their customer sat on acceptability of a product by 50 to 100%. Therefore, within a 6-month period that would take, historically, something that would take them 6 months to analyze, they were able to analyze within 24 hours.
I think one of the things that positions ClickFox very uniquely in the marketplace is that today they have a solution set that creates real, demonstrable, quantifiable value for customers, day one.
You know, this is a technology that offers tremendous business promise. That, of course, has been going on in the software world for the better part of a few decades now. But this is a company, ClickFox, with real customer success stories. You know, software can be like pinning Jell-O to a bulletin board. It's an amorphous, difficult thing sometimes to quantify. ClickFox, however, is fortunate to have empowered real customers with real business successes. My advice is talk to those customers because they'll tell you in their own objective terms, you know, how tremendous the return has been on their investment, and there's simply no reason to believe that customers in different categories wouldn't benefit in like ways.